What's up, party people in the house? And it's a double countdown of the night.
Yeah.
Woo, on brand on Dynasty War Games already. Love it. I'm your host and game master, Jesse Schneeman. I am joined by my homeboy, Captain Mike Casper. How you doing tonight, Mike?
What's up, Jesse?
You're my homie now.
All right, I'll take it.
Oh, yeah, right on. And we are joined by our fourth member, unofficial fourth member, basically sixth man of the year. You remember anybody out there that's really old, the old Pistons, Vinny Johnson, microwave Vinny Johnson, instant offense. We have Brian Ford at FFJunkie_.
How's it going? I thought we decided last night I'm cousin Shemp to the Three Stooges.
Oh, yeah. All right.
Yeah.
I like the instant offense part of it. Okay.
Maybe instantly offensive, but I'm really happy to be here. I'm looking forward to showing Mike what I got before he destroys my planet.
So anybody watching, what that's about is we've decided that Mike looks like the giant heads from Rick and Morty.
Show me what you got.
Oh, that's the gift now. Like,
Yep.
timestamp that, like, mark it. Forget it. Yeah.
That's awesome.
We should probably make that a segment of the show for something for everybody else to do that I run. We'll have to figure something out.
Like a guy
We'll have to
you're
brainstorm
looking to see, like, come on, show me what you got.
Yeah, next time you're game master, that's your shtick.
Well, that could be like a comments thing, like, "Hey, if you got some trades, show me what you got." And they post trades.
Bad offer. It's
like
not cool.
Not cool. Right? Then they blow it up or something. Yes.
All right. So we do have games tonight. Gentlemen, doing all right? You ready?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
All right. What are you drinking, Mike?
I just got water tonight. I
No
smashed the
fruity flavors.
nastiest energy drink I've ever tried.
Booty
It's
sweat?
just like cough syrup. I don't know what it is, but it is a 0 on the energy drink. Super healthy
sweat.
energy drink, stale.
Booty
Scale.
Sweat was the one from Tropic Thunder. If you guys remember that movie, it was fun times.
I don't remember the drink, but I remember the movie. Yeah. Could you
yeah.
imagine them trying to do even like the sort of like parody of the parody way they did blackface? Could you imagine trying to do that now?
Or the way they, use the R word on a constant
Yeah.
basis,
For
dropping
sure. Yeah.
R bombs. Like, that movie couldn't play today.
Same thing with The Office. Some of it.
Well, Steve Carell himself said it, and
Yeah.
yeah, Comedy Central doesn't show Diversity Day anymore. They pulled that from the
wow.
rotation.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I can see that.
Wow.
That makes sense, actually. Well, speaking of The Office, that is a perfect transition. If you guys remember the fire episode.
That is my favorite episode.
Okay. So when Ryan becomes fire guy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, not that one. Mine was the Dwight Fire.
Oh, yeah. No, not that one. Not that one. That one's great.
That just has everything. Like
When Oscar falls
She's
out
like,
of the
save the
ceiling.
cat.
Yeah.
you're too heavy. Save Bandit.
I weigh 80 pounds.
Then he cuts the face off of the dummy. And,
Oh, that's the greatest.
well, he's got no arms and no legs. What kind of life would he have?
It's one of my favorite gifts is him turning around.
Clarice. Why did you cut the face off the dummy? I want to see if it was realistic. Turns out it is. Oh, anyways.
So, no, the one I'm talking about is where Ryan has the talking head where he's saying, I don't want to be a guy. I don't want to be this guy or that guy at this office. It's a temp job. I just want to come in and do my job and get out. And he becomes fire guy at the end of the episode because he lit the office on fire, toasting a cheese pita.
Mm-hmm.
So while they're in the parking lot, there's a lot of Jim and Pam dynamic, but they play a little FMK. They play a little Deserted Island. So we're gonna do our version of that. It's gonna be Dynasty football based. Obviously, that's what we do. But we're not gonna do Fuck, Marry, Kill because Mike's a Christian and Brian's sensitive, woke kind of guy.
It's
I
one
was
of the
told
rare occasions that me and a Christian will find common ground. So let's celebrate this and
call it a win.
So we came up with a little different terminology. We're going to call it cash, stash, or trash, right? Cash is a guy we're buying. We're making money on him. That's our man, right? Stash is obvious, what it sounds like. We're stashing him on our bench or our taxi squad. And trash is like it sounds. He's garbage. All right, we ready to jump in? Oh, I'm sorry. Brian, what are you drinking?
coffee and lime seltzer.
And lime seltzer.
Every night, same thing.
Coffee.
I stopped pretending, and I just I have like 3 cans of seltzer and the whole coffee pot on my desk now. Like, why bother to get up into the kitchen?
Nice.
Well, but before we start, though, point of inquiry: are we keeping score? Because I have a revenge game with Mike, and I need to know.
I mean, that's kind of up to you guys. I wasn't going to just because it would be completely subjective. I mean,
be completely biased. I don't care.
That's the only way I'm going to win.
I was going to see if maybe we could let chat vote.
Oh, sure.
We only have Mike Kinney in chat, but all right, Mike, you're the judge. So that's how we're going to do it. Mike Kinney is the judge. All right. I am back to Tito's.
Mike stick together. Yeah. Oh, nice.
Tito's hit me up for a sponsorship. I've brought 2 bottles of seltzer, dropped a couple drops of lemon, grapefruit, and clementine essential oil in there. My wife's all about the essential oils. We don't use Febreze or anything like that. We use these, what do they call them? Just what what this symbol means, right?
Diffuser.
Diffuser.
Like
thank you.
Diffuser of the oils. Yeah.
Thank you, Ryan. Thank you. See, that is the universal symbol for diffuser. All right. So yeah, I'm back to vodka soda. Cheers.
All right. We get
round
drunk
1.
Jesse, and we get show prep Jesse. So this is, let's see what happens.
This is first drink in about 2 weeks, Jesse. So cheers.
That's not good.
All right. So cash, stash, or trash, Brian, you're the guest. We're gonna let you go first.
Thank you.
Mike called my universal symbol jazz hands. Spirit fingers.
Yeah.
Spirit fingers is a good one, yeah.
All right, Brian. Cash, stash, or trash, Jelani Woods, Greg Dulcich, or Isaiah Likely.
Wow.
Right.
And we're playing rookie tight end on Deserted Island too.
Yes, actually that is.
Okay. So
I forgot about that.
When I'm not, no, I'm just saying it makes it more interesting, right? So when I'm not using my spirit fingers to extract my essential oils, I think a lot about rookie tight ends, and this is actually a really tough one because since the draft, these guys have kind of like squished together real close in my rankings. Like, I'm going to be on brand here and say Cash is Jelani Woods because I think when we look at just pure upside, I think he's got it right. Yes, he's raw. Yes, he's going to have trouble with the blocking. But as Jesse pointed out on Fever when we recorded last night and released this afternoon, Dynasty Fever Pod on Twitter, folks these days are lining up tight ends wherever they line them up. They're tight end with the TE only, and we get the premium for them being an H-back, a big slot, whatever, right? So I don't think necessarily that poor blocking is going to be as much a detriment to these folks coming up if they've got the athletic skills in the next few years, right? Like they drafted Kolar and Likely. They're going to use them in different ways, right? So it's a long way of saying Cash is Woods. And then it gets hard. That's what she said. I'm going to stash Dulcich because I think he's got a more well-rounded game. I think he's one of the guys that can go in line and stay on the field. And surprisingly enough, I'm gonna trash Likely, even though at the moment he's higher in my rankings than Woods, because I think Woods has the bigger ceiling, and I have to stay on brand. Dulcich has the safe floor, so we're stashing him, and by process of elimination, Likely's out the door.
That's what I was getting at with this question, because I wanted to know. At least with you, I'm getting at something else with Mike with this question, but I wanted to know whether you were still on Jelani Woods or not after everything coming out of camp. Basically, I think they actually pulled an excerpt from Dynasty War Games, and I heard my voice saying, he looks stiff, he looks like a tree, he can't bend, he can't block, no ball skills.
Well,
all the things I was saying. Pre-draft, I've heard in camp.
I was cooling on him. That's why I said they were squishing together in my rankings. But I still like the guy. And Ogletree popped his knee, so
towards ACL, yeah.
Okay, I don't know that matters.
There's nobody else there. Is why it matters. It's Mo Cox and Woods now, right?
I hate that nobody else there.
Consequence.
They could sign. I mean, it's still camp. They could sign somebody off the street still. If a guy can't play, can't play. You know what I mean? They'll find somebody else that can play a little.
I mean, he's trash for me, so yeah.
All right, Mike. Yeah, like I said, I'm getting at something a little different here with this question, and let's see where you are with this.
That's fine. Yeah, no, my cash is Dulcich. I think I've been record on this program saying I don't know why we're just handing the job to Alberto, who hasn't done a whole lot, to be completely honest. They just think he's going to walk right into this role. Now, Dulcich has been off and on healthy during camp, which, his role right away might not be that big. But when he was healthy in all the camps, he was pretty heavily utilized, right? But I'm not as high as I was early on. If he would have been fully healthy this offseason, I think it could have been really interesting to see what his role was coming in this season, but I'm pretty sure he'll be behind Alberto early. So then my stash would be Likely, just because of the upside and just what's going on in camp, right? Like, I don't take everything, and I honestly don't spend a ton of time on rookie tight ends, to be completely honest. I just put as many as I can on my taxi and see what happens. But and with Woods not doing we know what Mo Cox is, and if he's out performing him by quite a bit, and he's just a big man, just a huge man. He's not a big athletic freak or anything like that. So if he can't do anything to make a role for himself there, then that's kind of a worry for me. But we still got 3 preseason games to go, so I'd still like to see more. But as of right now, this day, that's how I'd have it: is cash is Dulcich, stash is Likely, and then trash is Woods.
So Mike's judging with the wrong categories. I think he's already drunk, so I'm not really sure.
All right, Mike. So what I need from you in chat is to tell us out of those two, who wins. So just to review real quick, Brian was cash Woods, stash Dulcich, trash Likely, and then Mike was.
That was Brian. Yeah.
I'm sorry, that was Brian. Mike was trash Woods.
Mike already put his. He already put it.
Okay.
He agreed with Brian. Yeah.
Keep Woods. Oh, okay. All right. So 1 point to Brian. So Mike, you can put up what you think as well, but then just give me a name. Give me a name who you like better. All right. So we're gonna move on from tight ends. We might go back to tight ends because I have a couple more on here, but we're gonna go to quarterback. Mike, cash, stash, trash, Malik, Pickett, Ritter. Now that we've seen a little bit out of them.
So my cash is going to be Ritter. Because of his performance in the preseason, I think he's got an easier path to start on a terrible team that's not going to be competing for squat. I like stash for Pickett. obviously not as much upside, but I think he's going to be a really good prospect. He's going to be starting before half the season's over. And then Malik, I am going to put in the trash department because there's a chance he doesn't start a game until he's a sophomore in the league. So in his second year or so, because the Titans are still trying to win a division championship and go to the playoffs. So unless they use him in some kind of, Trey Lance-ish type of packages or something, where he comes in as, I don't know, I just don't see a whole lot of use, and I guess that's why I'm coming at it. So yeah, cash Ritter, stash Pickett, and then trash Willis. Didn't think I'd be saying that a couple months ago, but here we are.
Yeah. All right, Brian, what do you think?
Hold on a second. I have to stretch for my victory lap. So right before draft night, my quote unquote hot take, and I don't even think it was all that hot because I said it wasn't hot. No quarterback gets taken before 20, and it won't be Malik Willis, and he will not be a first rounder. I was called crazy. I told that Malik Willis was a lock to be in the first round. He was getting mocked a couple weeks before that as to 6 Panthers. Yeah. Okay. So basically, I had them going in. Pickett was QB1 by a mile. Malik Willis was 4, and Ritter was 5. So Pickett seems like the stash guy, the floor guy, the safe guy, right? If he can carve out a Derek Carr career, you're happy with that, right?
Very happy.
I'm gonna move him to cash. He's an NFL ready quarterback with weapons and a good organization, a really good running back, a top line coach. Cash that mofo, right? We're gonna stash Ritter. He's moved ahead of Willis for me, and while he may see the field a little bit this year, or maybe even beat out Mariota, who knows? I think he's still project-y. I think he's what we were talking about, last night. It's only a cheat code if they can pass. I think he, had some stuff going into the draft that on his passing that he needed to work on. And, so I'm going to stash him and at this point, Willis to me is he's upside, he's ceiling. And what else is he? He could end up 3-5 years from now with the best career out of all 3 of them, simply because he has probably the biggest upside. But right now, if I have to trash somebody, it's Willis. So I agree with Mike, but I just switched the cash and stash.
All right. So stash Ritter and trash Malik. Mm-hmm. Mike, what do you think? Well, I give my point of view. You tell me which one. Okay, so Mike on this one. All right, so +1 Mike. He goes, so cash Ritter, stash Pickett, and trash Willis. I actually, personally, Mike gets the point, but I agree with Brian. I think Pickett's cash because now his price is going down. I think he is going to be the best out of the 3. I think he's going to be the best out of the class when all is said and done. And his price seems to be going down from what it already was, a late first. Brian, let's tell us about the trade you made last night for Pickett.
Oh, okay. Well, so it's a Debbie league, but it doesn't really matter much because no picks or Debbie guys were involved. But so we were talking about how, Jesse and I are both fading the sun god, so to speak, and we are lower than consensus on Amon-Ra St. Brown. I did one of those things on MFL where you update the trade bait, but you don't really update it just so people get the email. And so, I wanted to shop Amon-Ra. And so I got an offer of Spiller and Mike, you'll appreciate this. Oh, Sun God. You'll appreciate this, Mike. Seth Williams was the second piece, Mike. Yeah. So
it was a second and no, it was Spiller
and Seth
Williams.
And it's a team where I'm not like in a total rebuild, but like I could go without onboarding Spiller, I could wait another year or so to try to get some quality running backs. So Jesse and I, after the show, we decided that we won't make any snarky remarks about the Seth Williams piece of the offer, which is me showing restraint, and then countered with what was it, Amon-Ra and Pacheco for Pickett, and they took it. No counter, no questions, nothing. And to me,
so you got Pickett in there.
To me, his value is, as Jesse was pointing out, is almost assuredly going to go up, right? I don't know that Amon-Ra can from the way he's got all the buzz, but for me, I got a guy who, if he can carve out a Derek Carr career in a super flex, and I gave up a guy I don't like and a guy I was in on early, but like, let's face it, is a 7th round halfback, right?
Yeah.
No, yeah, absolutely. Well, that's we kind of crafted the deal together. It's his team, but I just was helping him out, looking at the rosters, and I thought, hey, let's send them an all hype offer, and they took it. I keep saying they because I don't want to.
Yeah, no, I definitely like the Pickett side there, especially getting a quarterback in that situation. Amon-Ra is interesting because I feel like the Dynasty community was a lot higher on him pre-draft, and then he kind of fell in the draft. I feel like he was one of the top wide receiver prospects from, the rookie content I was listening to. So, but it'll be interesting to see what his role is and how healthy everyone stays this year, right? Because he had a lot of production with no Hawks. So, but I like it. You get a quarterback without giving one back. That's a pretty rare thing to do, especially the highest drafted rookie of a class on an organization that doesn't lose a whole lot and has one of the longest tenured coaches in the league. That's pretty good. I'll take it.
Yeah, and this was also an example of let's try to make it work, and you have to understand who you're dealing with. This other team was absolutely a contender, just looking for one more piece.
Yeah.
So obviously, I'm not going to try to take a win now piece from them. I looked, and quarterbacks were like Herbert, Stafford, and Carr.
I think. That. Yeah. So
Carr was definitely the third.
Yeah.
So, and then Pickett. So I thought, well, all right, they don't need Pickett. So let's try to craft an offer for Pickett. It worked out.
That's how you do it.
Yeah. So that's something that's advice we give people all the time, and that's when you're trying to make a trade, try to figure out what the other person can give up without hurting them, what they're looking to give up, and what they're looking to gain.
Absolutely.
Don't just start. Yeah. Anyway, I don't want to go too much into that, but that's something we talk about quite a bit. I also recently traded Amon-Ra with Chad, actually, in our 14-team league. And that person you traded with, Brian, is in that league with us as well. I'm not going to talk about who, but
interesting.
Yeah. I saw the. I had a little Hard Knocks party, and I watched the 2 episodes in a row, and I saw Amon-Ra getting that Hard Knocks treatment. Like, he was on 10 minutes with his shirt off, and his dad, Mr. Universe, working out with them and talking about how hard they work out, blah blah blah. So I decided to sell him. I don't really like him. I think he's limited, and a lot of the stuff he did last year was schemed for him, and that probably won't happen with better weapons around him. So I offered him to Chad first, before I posted the video in chat. Who knows what other offers I would have gotten, but he made me a good offer. Or actually, he made me kind of, he offered me Mechie in a second, which is kind of a shitty offer. So I countered with make it Alec Pierce and you got a deal. So Alec Pierce in a second for Amon-Ra. I feel like I'm happy, and they're not pieces that he was counting on, and it gives him another piece to try to compete this year.
Yeah, I think it was a great trade. Yeah.
All right.
Mike, you can take the sunglasses off now. We're done talking about Amon-Ra.
About Amon-Ra. Yeah, no. these are for my eyes are like burning tonight.
Oh, okay.
Blue light glasses. So I don't know what it is, but see if they work.
Right.
It's my devil soul coming through the screen to your pure Christian eyes that cannot
No, I do like them too because they got blue frames and they've got orange lenses, and so I'm a Broncos fan, so
it's orange. Okay.
I'll take that. I'll take that to the bank too.
Looks red on camera. You look a little.
Oh, really?
They look. I told you the other night. You look like Tony Stark glasses.
Oh, yeah. Okay, Tony Stark Terminator. I'll do it.
All right. So the next one is the little guys.
Oh, okay.
All right. So, Brian, Cash, Stash, or Trash, Tutu Atwell, D. Eskridge, Rondale Moore.
Interesting.
You have to cash and stash. Can't trash all three.
So, before I start, let me just remind our friend in the chat that one of my best friends in high school was named Mike Kenny. So close. Gross. I think for me, I have to cash Rondale. Just out of those three, who do I think has like the best shot of doing well? Even though I'm kind of really down on him, it's Rondale Moore. I think not only is he probably the best player of the three, but is in a actual offense that has weapons and moves the ball and is tied to Kyler and that sort of thing. I think he'll be better this year than he was last year, but I don't think he's going to be this sort of like give him a 2-yard pass and watch him yak his way to being an all-pro that some people thought. So but I think out of that gross bunch, I think he's an obvious cash for me. And then it becomes what second round small receiver who is at best 4th receiver on their team do you want? Mm-hmm. And I guess I'll take the one that isn't 113 pounds, and I'll stash Eskridge because I did hear some good things about him here and there over the last couple of years, relative to what I've heard about Atwell. Atwell's on the better offense, but like he's buried. All Eskridge has to do is what outshine Freddie Swain, Marquez. What's the guy? Goodwin, Marquise Goodwin. So yeah, let's stash Eskridge and
JJ Arcega-Whiteside.
Lil Tutu. Lil Tutu is going in the trashy trash.
All right. Despite the hype that he's gotten recently.
It's Tutu.
That doesn't matter.
He catches a big bomb from Stafford in practice against Air. Leave me alone.
Okay, but McVay said that he doesn't need to play Tutu in the preseason. He's seen enough. That guy's locked in as the third.
Coaches say a lot of things that we were talking about last night.
Very true. Very true. Mike, what do you think?
Well, McVay very much doesn't play anybody in the preseason that he wants to actually play for him in the regular season.
Right.
I think he's proven that, right? So I'm in relative agreement. So obviously I think Rondale Moore is the easy cash here. I think he's a lot better with D-Hop out as well, right? For the first 6 games, he's got a chance to break out, again, which would be nice to see. But I'm gonna take Tutu on the dash, and I didn't even know there was any Tutu hype going on right now, to be completely honest.
Yeah, neither did I.
Yeah, there is.
For those two, it's kind of a coin flip to me, and I'm gonna coin flip with the offense and offensive outlook. Right, number one, I know Van Jefferson's hobbled. He's likely to be back for week 1, but not guaranteed. So there's a chance, there's a doorway for Tutu, I think, to step in there, and they invested 2nd round draft capital in him, right? So who knows? The Rams like to prove people wrong, I think. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, Eskridge, I think I'm just not interested in a third receiver on a crappy offense. We're worried about Lockett and Metcalf enough as is, and now we've already got the rookie running back. What's his name?
Walker.
Ted Walker.
Walker, yeah. Walker's already got who knows what's going on with his leg or knee or whatever. So, no Eskridge for me anywhere.
Let me ask you this though. like, I don't want to be like a dick, but like being that it's like a dynasty thing, right? And I know this is like, 2022 camp hype and all that. Like, you only got to eat 1 year of a crap team probably on Seattle. Like, I don't know that they're going to go into next year with the likes of, Geno and Drew Lock. I mean, that's why I don't see people are like, really plummeting DK, and it's like, it's okay.
Well,
I'll give them to me, and I'll wait till 2023.
I don't know. I just don't trust Seattle at all, to be completely honest. I feel like since Russ has gotten there, I don't feel like they really built around him. To be completely honest, like, I mean, drafting DK was a good one, but that was one that honestly kind of fell to them. Like, they were lucky they got him in a second. They did it right, but I feel like for a long time they weren't doing that. So I don't know if I trust them to really build that high-end competent offense. And then I don't want to rely on a rookie either throwing to a third wide receiver. So I would definitely just take the better offense, because who knows what happens, right? Rams are always moving people. So maybe Allison straight up busts and they just cut him or trade him. Like, who knows? I mean, he's my guy this year, but we'll see.
I found
Good point. That's fair.
I found some Tutu Atwell on the waiver wire a couple weeks ago. So 3 or 4 places. And then I heard the little bit of, and it was just, hey, I have guys, when they started putting guys on PUP and I was able to move guys over to PUP on my squad, I started just picking up speculative guys, just whoever the heck was out there. I actually got Hamler in a league doing that. Patreon.
I did too as well. I got Hamler.
I got Tutu in a couple places. I'm not saying I have 0 of them, but I think Mike made a really good argument. And if Mike Kinney doesn't give Mike Casper the point, I protest, because I think
he already did. No, he already did. Yeah. Mike got the point. Thank you, Mike Kinney. Mike Casper gets the point, up 2-1. All right. So where should we go? Should we go KC or Pittsburgh?
KC.
All right. Mike?
I don't know what we're doing.
Cash, stash, or trash? Sky Moore, Juju, MVS. It worked better with FMK, by the way, when I wrote it. And also, I wanted to say fuck on this channel, because I've recently found out I can, after hearing Memphis and Jerry say it 6 times in their last podcast. But go on, Mike.
So I am going to cash Sky Moore. Was pretty high on him pre-draft. I don't feel like anything hasn't had anything crazy go on. I feel like during camp, it's been more quiet than I honestly would have expected from a Kansas City camp. But I would then stash Juju. A couple of years ago, this guy was going in close to the first or second round of startups as one of the youngest wide receivers. I think I saw something like Juju is as old as Velus Jones, right? Or something like that. Is that true?
Not quite.
Rookie from Chicago. No,
really? Because Juju's
20. They're both 25.
Yeah,
are they really?
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah. So when you
26.
Yeah, when you consider what Juju did early on, it was pretty impressive, right? And with Mahomes, he could have some crazy type of resurgence, right? Obviously, nobody's believed in him with the last 2 years and the last 2 contracts he's received, and that's why it's kind of shocking that I'm going to trash MVS, considering he got substantially more of a deal, or a bigger deal, than Juju did. But we've seen MVS with Aaron Rodgers, and that was not good. I mean, it was good, but it was so bust. It was either it was a best ball kind of week, or he's on your bench or scoring 0 points in your lineup kind of a weeks. So
it's a shame. It's a shame Nelson Aguilar wasn't out there.
Yeah, right. So I don't know if that's a hot take. I was shocked with how much money they gave him. But yeah, so I'm gonna cash Sky Moore. I'm a believer. We'll see how he does this year. Juju, I could see some type of resurgence, and MVS, no way.
Mike, do you want to respond to chat?
Yeah, Steve Gambino says, seriously, Mike, you doing ecstasy before your Uber shift with those glasses? I don't know what that means. I've never done ecstasy before. So.
You poor bastard, you're missing out.
I'm sorry. They didn't even give me, man, I was hoping I could get some Vicodin or something when I had my snip, but no, all I had was like Tylenol 3, which was Tylenol with codeine, and that was
doesn't really do much.
Not exciting.
Right on. Brian, what do you think?
I think my recovery from vasectomy was super easy. Like I don't even really remember even what painkillers I got, because it was like
really.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, you mean about the receiver? Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well played, sir. Well played.
Okay, so I'm gonna I agree pretty much with Mike, but I'm gonna, just to be able to disagree, to compete for a point. Let me put it this way: Juju's my cash, right? Because I'm gonna take him, and I'm gonna try to capitalize on a spike, try to capitalize on a good week, and get rid of a guy that can't get more than 1 year deals and sell him. And Sky is my stash because he's on a rookie contract. He's going to be there longer. And if Mahomes happens to favor, guys like Hardman and MVS and Juju early on because they're veterans or whatever, I'm not nervous because I know Sky Moore is going to be okay, because Juju's probably out next year and Sky Moore is going to be just fine. And I don't really have anything else to say about MVS that Mike Casper didn't. I was talking last night with Jesse about it, that like, to me, adding him was an indictment on McCole Hardman. But even then, like, that just shows how bad McCole Hardman is if MVS is better than you. So, so I agree mostly with Mike, but just a bit of a twist.
Yeah. I thought Brian gets the point. And I thought that was the chalk. When I was reading them off, I thought, well, Juju's obviously cash, right? You obviously can make some cash on Juju. I brought this up. I traded 2 seconds and a third plus Quez Watkins and Tyler Johnson for Juju and Cortland Sutton in the offseason. Yeah.
Wow.
And that was speculative, before the draft, is long ago. In fact, it might have even been before. It was probably before Russ went to Denver.
And Sutton was still hurt. Yeah, I mean, it's easy to right.
Yeah, it's easy to talk revisionist history, right? Then I turned around and recently traded. I held Juju. I thought, all right, I'm holding Juju until he's worth a first, right? Whenever that is. I assumed that would be in season when he was scoring points, but I made an offer to another Patreon member. Neil actually offered him Juju and Nyheim Hines. And he's got JT, so Hines made a lot of sense for him. For Treylon Burks. I'm not a huge Treylon Burks fan, but that's my first value that I was looking for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I told you last night I liked it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. What are you taking for Juju if you're not pairing him with Hines to buy up? What are you selling him for somebody buying him?
For Juju?
Yeah.
What am I taking? Like I said, I want first round value for him. I would take a 2024 first for him. I think 23 is probably.
I think him in a third for a first is fair, but I think people want to see it first.
I would do that.
But that's when his value goes up, right? So
yeah. I think that'll be easier to do, like when the season starts. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I thought I was gonna hold him, but when I got the value, I got the value. I don't think he's gonna be worth more than a first.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. So, Mike's got a little domestic issue. I think
children.
His children are beating his wife.
They're growing their horns into a weekend.
Right. So, Mike, if you need to dip out, let me. Yeah, if you need to tip
Yeah,
out.
do you have one more to do? I know we're tied 2-2. So
yeah, we're tied 2-2. Yeah. Let's go to.
Look at this guy trying to back out of the game before I win. Right.
No,
now.
that's why I said let's do another one instead of
I know.
see ya. I would have left right now.
I hear you.
All right. Do you want to just do straight up Pittsburgh, or do you want to do tight end?
I feel like Pittsburgh because we did a tight end one.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Brian.
Mm-hmm.
Stash. I'm sorry. Cash, stash, or trash. Carl Pickens' son, Chase Claypool, Deontay Johnson.
Okay. So I'm probably higher on Deontay than most people. I think I had him in top 10 for a while. I think he might be like 11-ish for me now. So I do like him a lot. And I think, them re-signing him when they don't really re-sign receivers says a lot, right? Okay. And so, see, if this was FMK, right, like Pickens would be the sexy F, right? You'd marry Deontay and unfortunately have to kill Claypool. But since this is different, I think I'm going to kind of take the approach I took with Juju. And not that I'm going to trade Deontay Johnson, but I'm, or I might, but in other words, I'm going to categorize him as cash. He's my sure thing. He's the guy I want. He's the highest rank that I have. I think he's going to eat with targets from rookie quarterback. It's going to, it's going to feel safe with him and that sort of thing. I'm going to stash Pickens because, again, like Sky Moore, if the hype is not, going to translate into the field and he, takes a little while, right? Or, Claypool plays big slot and, gets some easy targets, right? We're still okay, right? Because Pickens, he's got first round value. He's probably got alpha ability. So I can stash him. And if he starts off shaky or not seeing the field much, I'm okay. And Claypool, who, I'm probably, people, are really just burying him. I'm probably a little higher than that. But I think out of these three, I think it's the obvious, trash. So that would be just like I did with the Kansas City crew. I'm gonna cash the 25-ish veteran. I'm gonna stash the first round rookie draft rookie, and I'm gonna trash the third option.
All right, right on. Mike, what do you think?
Well, I'm just relieved that we've been pretty different on some of these, so it makes the talk a lot more interesting. I'm definitely going to cash Pickens, and the reason why that is after 1 week, I feel like I'm not sure. Have you guys seen him go for a first or close to first-ish value recently? Off of
I haven't seen him get traded
and camp hype. Okay, I feel like I've seen it, but I can't name out any. I feel like by the end of this preseason, he is going to be getting the hype equivalent of a Chase Jefferson kind of rookie season expectation.
Wow. Really?
Like I really do think that's what they're going to do. Do I think he's going to do that? Absolutely not. Not in that offense.
But you think we're going to be looking at him?
But do I think? Yeah. Do I think he could have the best rookie wide receiver year? Absolutely. I think there's a pretty decent argument there for that. So he's going to be my cash that I could see just really exploding. Honestly, if he reaches that first value, I'm fine moving him for that. But he's going to be my cash Deontay. I also do love Deontay. Little worried about what it's going to be like with the new quarterback, right? But we know he can catch the ball. He's been a stud the past couple of years, right? He did have some drop issues, I know, for a little bit. But
last year he could catch the ball.
That's such a sticky stat. So him getting re-signed, I think, was a really good sign. So that's why I would stash him for the next 2 years. I think he'll be able to get that good rapport with Pickett over the next 2 years. And then Claypool's just kind of the odd man out. It's not that I don't think he's talented or anything like that. It's just I prefer the other two at this point. So that's where I'd be.
Again, I think the chalk was cash Deontay, stash Pickens, trash Claypool, but you make a good argument for why Pickens could absolutely be cash. While we wait for Mike Kinney to pass judgment, Steve Gambino says in chat, love you guys. My vasectomy was great. Swear to God, his name was Dr. Fingerman. Can't make it up.
I forget my doctor's name, but I remember getting checked out and him saying he had like an assistant with him, and it was a woman, and he was like saying like notes for her or whatever, and he was like, "Oh, it seems to be fairly normal functional anatomy," and I was like, "Oh, I'll put that on my dating profile," and like she laughed, But
Nice.
yeah, man. And I have 0 kids, by the way. That was a purely preventative measure.
Good job.
Yeah.
I approve. So Mike Kinney goes Cash Johnson, Stash Pickens, Drop Kick Claypool. Brian wins.
Tom Brady, Peyton Manning is avenged. Super Bowl shit in the bed is avenged.
Nice.
No, Mike. Honestly, like
Good
you
job.
like this was great. Like hearing the different,
No, it was
different
fun.
arguments. Yeah, it was. A
I
lot
like
of
doing
fun.
this one with you. That was really fun. I was glad we were different, but we still had the same mindset on a lot of things. So it was fun. Good stuff.
Yeah, right on. Right on. I think all the trashes were pretty. Not exactly, but for the most part, the trashes were pretty similar.
Except for the rookie tight ends. But all right, well, I'm gonna go handle these gremlins, you guys. I apologize in advance. But,
Mike, thanks for joining us, man. We really
gotta do what I
appreciate
gotta
it.
do, right?
Don't feed them after
go
midnight.
Smack some
All
kids
right.
around. Tell them to pick a belt.
Glasses come off. Ooh.
Tell them to go cut a switch.
Oh,
Oh,
Adrian
whoa,
Peterson
whoa,
style.
whoa,
Whoa.
Yeah. AP is not my role model.
Spare. No. Spoil the rod.
Spoil the child.
No. Spoil the rod. Beat the child. I have kids, man. I'm allowed to say shit like that.
Until next week. We'll see you guys.
Later, Mike.
So last night it was me and you with episiotomies, and tonight it's vasectomies. So
Nice.
yeah, like what genital surgery procedure will be on next week, folks? Tune in to find.
I can talk about my multiple kidney stones.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good story. Yeah. I remember that. Yeah. You want to do the deserted island stuff?
Yeah, we're still gonna do this.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. So I'll play along with you, and then Mike can judge. Even though
I can have 2 victories under my belt.
Yeah,
tonight. Let's go, Kenny. Let's go.
I don't have any answers lined up because I wasn't playing, but
right. Yeah.
I'll jump in. I'll jump in.
But me taking notes doesn't help, right? So. You tried to hand me the victory on the who am I, and I shit the bed on that.
Yeah,
so
it
doesn't really matter.
All right, Brian. If you were stranded on a deserted island, not a desert island, if you were stranded on a desert island, you would die.
Yes,
because there's no resources.
Yes, I too am a pet peeve when people mix that up. Yeah,
right. So if you were stranded on a deserted island, it's kind of a little funny the way it's phrased, but which 28-year-old wide receiver would you like to bring with you? Which rookie receiver would you like to bring with you? And which rookie tight end that's not Trey McBride? Unfortunately, he didn't make it through the boat wreck.
Yeah.
So,
or he was just smart enough to stay home.
Yeah, he's just gonna play for the Cardinals. He didn't need to go on the boat ride.
No.
All right, so on your 3-hour tour where you got stranded,
reference to your Scott Fishbowl division.
Yes, Gilligan's Island. That's correct. Nice. 28-year-old wide receiver, rookie receiver, and rookie tight end, not McBride.
Okay. Proposal. We make this really fun.
Okay.
And Mike scores each one. Like we go 28-28, tight end, or that take too long.
Wait, I'm sorry. Say this again.
So we don't talk in a group of 3 and have Mike score. Mike scores based on each one. Like you do a 28-year-old, I do a 28-year-old. You do. What do you think?
Okay, that's fine. I mean,
or would that take too long? I mean,
it is going to take too long because I have 3 sets. That'd be 9.
Yeah. All right. Don't worry about it. Okay, so
and I'm sure Mike works for a living, man. We don't want to wear him out.
Oh, that's right. People work in the summer.
Oh, you bastard! I had the worst day at work. Go on.
Oh, did your boy with the resume
Eric.
I didn't want to say names in case they listen, but like, did you?
Well, I mean, we're not saying any last names.
Well, yeah, we can't, right? Did you call him back? Did you say, hey, these 3 bullet points on your resume are really impressive? Come on in.
I told Brian about a resume. Guy stopped by to drop him a resume off the other day, and it just said Eric at the top. Confidence, right? Just said Eric, caps, real big and bold, and then no contact information. It had 3 places where he worked. I think the last one ended in 2018 or something like that. So he hasn't worked in 4 years, or didn't put it on there. But 2 of the last names for his bosses were the same, like in different jobs, and it was just weird. But it's like, hey, I'm Eric. I will contact you when I'm ready, and I've worked places. Right?
Drop the mic.
Yeah, exactly. So I took his resume. I said, okay, Eric, is there any way that we can get a hold of you if we do decide to give you an interview? And he gave me a phone number and pretty much peaced out. So,
well, I mean, to be fair, like, how long does a resume have to be to churn canola?
It has to have a last name and contact information, minimum.
Okay.
A full work history is helpful as well.
That's fair.
All right. So you've dodged the question long enough.
Okay. A 20-year-old wide receiver, rookie tight end, and rookie wide receiver, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So my 28-year-old wide receiver is a guy that people say all the time is overlooked and underrated, and I happen to agree. And that's Brandon Cooks. He's a 28-year-old wide receiver, right? He's played 8 seasons. Right?
Doesn't it seem like he's older than that?
Yeah. If you take out the 2014 rookie season with the Saints, a year in which Jimmy Graham, who was already 28 then, got over 80 catches, and they fed Mark Ingram 226 carries, and also had to compete with Marquez Colston. If you take that season out, and I know it's bad when people, if you take that out, but let's take a look at his next 7 seasons, right? He missed a total of 3 games. He once had under 114 targets, once had under 1,037 yards, once had under 65 catches, and once had under 5 touchdowns. And those onces were all in 2019 on the Rams, when guys like Robert Woods and Cooper Kupp were getting 90-plus catches, and there just wasn't much pie left for him.
What was the other issue that year?
Was he hurt?
Concussions.
I think he did miss a couple games. That's the one year that he missed. Like, I think he played 14 games. So
and once, if he gets another concussion, he could possibly be out of the game. Although that could be said for anyone if it's a severe enough concussion.
Yeah.
But I think that's. I'm not saying that's my fear with him. I love Brandon Cooks, but I think that's where his value decline started, and then he went to the Texans, and Deshaun Watson left, and we're rolling with General Mills. And
I'm gonna argue that, like, obviously you don't like Watson leaving, but pass it right now. If you're looking at Cooks, right, he's got a quarterback on the come up that's getting nothing but praise, right? You don't like. I'm not saying that Mills is like, going to be like, Trey Lance or Trevor Lawrence.
Are you saying he's, and I'm not making fun of him when I say this, but are you saying he's going to be better than Blaine Gabbert? Because that's who I see when I see him play.
Are you? Yes, he's good. Yes, he would have been QB1 in 2022. Ahead of Pickett, probably. Maybe 2 behind Pickett. All right. He's got a quarterback on the come up. He's got Nico Collins on the come up. He's got Brevin Jordan, who, by the way, I knocked down a couple spots in my rankings, right? He's got an improved running game. Brandon Cooks, 28-year-old wide receivers. Give me the Kirk Cousins of wide receivers.
Why is the running game improved?
I mean, they had 0 running game last year. Marlon Mack is competent. Dameon Pierce is doing well so far. Like it can't go anywhere but up, right? I mean, I know it's a shitty argument, but like
it is a shitty argument. I don't let people get away with it.
But here's the thing, though. Any semblance of a running game, which you have to say reasonably, it looks like they could have relative to last year, right? Any semblance of a running game, that's play action that opens stuff up in the deep, like which he didn't have at all in Mills last year because they had no running game whatsoever, right? I mean, Rex Burkhead can catch some third down passes, but like, come on. Right?
I will sum up their running game from last year with a quote from one of my favorite movies of all time, Major League. Uh-oh, Rexy. I don't think this one has the distance.
Right. So,
yeah, and I hope some of my Major League homies out there got that reference. But anyway, all right.
Wide receiver.
All right, I love Brandon Cooks. This is not designed to be a debate about General Mills. I will just say that I believe that he is has limited arm talent. I don't think he showed that he can command an offense. I think everything was, little dink and dunk and, find little soft spots in zones, but no dynamic plays. I'm not saying he can't take a step forward and become I don't want to compare him to Kirk Cousins. I don't think Kirk Cousins is especially good NFL quarterback, while he's widely accepted as a good fantasy quarterback in Superflex. For NFL teams, he's just got this way of, I don't know. It's like somebody sometimes dumps a bag of concrete in his ear and cement forms in his head, and he just does some crazy shit. It's a little Wentz-ish, but maybe that's a little too far.
Well, to be fair,
at least he's got heart.
My cousin's reference was that Cooks was the Kirk Cousins of wide receivers, consistently underrated and overlooked.
I just thought if I'm an NFL team, I don't think Kirk Cousins is ever going to take me to, playoff victories.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought the title of this podcast had the word Dynasty in it because it's fantasy football.
Correct, but you can't evaluate fantasy without knowing how good a player is, right?
No, for sure. However, yes, we were talking last night about how if Hurts can't stay on the field because he can't pass, your Konami cheat code is nothing, right?
Exactly.
But
if Davis Mills can't show that he's a difference maker at the position, and the Texans finish as the worst team in the league or bottom 5, he's going to get overdrafted.
We were just talking about Cousins. Do you want to talk about Mills now too? Come on.
No, but that's because I compared Mills to Cousins. Stay on track.
I'm trying. I'm arguing for Kirk Cousins, and you're throwing Mills back at me. So here's the thing with Mills, right? He's Mac Jones in a worse situation.
Mm-hmm.
What you described as a competent quarterback that's not going to make any big, flashy, dynamic plays, right, with not much ceiling, is Mac Jones.
I think Mac Jones is a much better decision maker.
I'm not – okay, that could be true. I don't know about much, but I think Davis Mills can – what you said about Mac Jones last night, I can count on Mac Jones to be a mediocre quarterback for a few years. Yeah. I think Davis Mills can do that. I have him below Jones because I am a little more sure about Jones right now, but I think he can be that.
So if you're the Texans GM, are you content with that when you have a high pick and you get somebody else that has huge talent?
Well, I mean, listen, how
high CJ Stroud is staring you in the face, you know what I mean?
High, okay, how high a pick is CJ Stroud pick? I think, well, we're a year away from the draft. And the Texans have a lot of needs. We don't, and so
okay. I'm just saying that is the number one priority for every NFL team, and he's just got to show that he's a difference maker, that he can command an offense. And I'm not saying he has to take him to the playoffs. He just has to show that he has the ability, to lead a team to the playoffs. He's got to take a step forward.
All they're saying is, I mean, we know we talk about buzz, but what's the information we have to go on? All they're saying is step forward, step forward, step forward, step forward. You want to talk about drumbeat?
Okay.
There's been a Mills drumbeat. So let's get to the tight end, the rookie tight end.
Well, no, you skipped rookie receiver.
Oh, I was going in the order in which they were given to me. I'm sorry.
No, you weren't.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I thought I read them in the order I have them written down, but okay, rookie tight end.
No, really, honestly, I'll do whatever you want. No, you're right. You're right. Receiver. Okay. So I wrote 2 down depending on what Mike had to do, and now it's a really tough decision because here we are. So since I'm probably going to go with a guy on this team for the second one, the tight end, I'm going to not do it now. So Tyquan Thornton is my wide receiver. We were talking a little bit about him last night. And it's a fun game. Like I could say, my rookie wide receiver is Garrett Wilson and it'd be easy, right? So I want to talk about Thornton tonight. Let's be clear about something. I do think round 2 was a bit of a reach in the NFL draft, right? But I liked him a lot. I liked him almost as much as I liked Tolbert going into the draft. I think he was a steal in rookie drafts. I think like a lot of rookies, and especially ones that come out of small schools, right, or lesser programs. Baylor's not a small school. It's a lesser program, right? He doesn't have the Ohio State wide receiver coaches, right? So like a lot of them, he could tighten up his cuts on his route running and things like that. But I'm looking at my notes here from rookie season, right? Speed, explosive, burst, yak, agile, ball skills, good blocker, tighten up cuts and route running, good hands, though they could be stronger. If he gets day 2 draft capital, he's a riser. What do you get? He got day 2 draft capital. I had him right behind David Bell and Khalil Shakir and right ahead of Romeo Doubs. And I don't see any reason why he can't be better than all 3 of them. Again, we talk about, guarding against buzz and hype, but based on the information we have to go on, positive rapport with the guy we were just talking about before, Mac Jones, in an offense that to me is starved for a dynamic wide receiver to step up. Jacoby Myers, he'll get a lot of targets. I mean, then you're left with Kendrick Bourne, Aguilar, Devontae Park. I think, again, I'm not saying Tyquan Thornton is going to be Garrett Wilson or Chris Olave. I'm saying he's going to be a lot better than I think people are giving him credit for. So if I'm going to be on a deserted island, I'm going to want to be on a deserted island, the guy that's going to be fun and exciting and unexpected because I'm going to be bored for hours on a deserted island. So I'm going to go with Tyquan Thornton.
Oh, man, that's a good answer. It's a good answer. Because I had approached this from all right, well, my answer is going to stay the same, but I do have a good explanation for it, and it's going to be Jameson Williams.
I like it.
I also want somebody that's fun and exciting, but I want somebody that for the first part of the time that we're on the island is just going to kind of depend on me. We're going to form a bond because he can't really, he's not fun and explosive right now. He's got to rest the knee. So I'm going to do a little spear fishing and I'm going to make the fire and I'm going to keep us alive for a while. We're going to bond. And then when he's healed, we're really going to be tight and he's going to run the show. Like he's going to do all the hunting. He's going to be able to run down a cheetah and, tackle it and we'll survive, that kind of thing. Although I'm sorry, I just realized you're a vegetarian. You don't want us to kill fish or cheetahs. So, so we are an explicit show. Brian's shirt says "Eat pussy, not animals."
The world would be a lot better place. So
mine says "Never say die." Goonies never say die.
So when I was a teenager, I remember seeing a T-shirt, and it was meant for a lesbian to wear, and it said, "Sorry guys, I eat pussy," and I totally wanted to get that shirt.
I would rock the shit out of
just
that
to
shirt.
like reverse it and be like, sorry, gay guys, I eat the pussy. But yeah,
I know I'm a sexy bear.
Wasn't a bear then. I don't know, I would say borderline twink, but like I had like, well, I mean, I was growing a beer gut, but like I had like long hair and
Oh, okay. So you're the dark-haired Fabio. I'm starting to look like Fabio myself these days. My hair's getting long.
A little toe haired there, yeah. Oh.
All right. So JMO for me, we're gonna build a bond while he heals, and then once he's healed up, he's gonna provide for me.
Okay. So your desire to control somebody and groom them to be of service to you influences. Okay, I got you.
Yeah, absolutely.
So time for the tight end.
That's what I do for a living, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, you groom people for a living?
Well, yes.
I'm kidding.
I groom their careers, my friend. Moving on.
So the rookie tight end, I'm glad I'm gonna pick this guy because one, he's off brand for me. I'm not gonna go with Jelani Woods, right? Two, we haven't talked about him yet on either podcast, right? And so again, people when you say you like a guy, people automatically go to like, you think he's gonna be great. You're crazy, right? And it's like, no, I'm thinking at cost, right? Relative to where he was drafted, relative to expectation, right? That's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about I like a guy or I'm higher than consensus on him, right? So my guy is Chigoziem Okonkwo.
Oh, okay. Gotcha, Okonkwo.
Yeah, so 6'2", 238, so not a huge tight end. 4'5", 240, 35.5 vert, right? Again, he's not a guy that's going to block well. He doesn't like have like long arms, right? He needs to improve his hands a bit. Yes. Like any rookie tight end, does he need to make his route running crisper? Yes, absolutely. But just like you talked about last night with likely moving around the formations and all that sort of stuff, that's what they're going to do with Chick. Hooper's going to be more of the, closer to the inline sort of traditional tight end, and this guy's going to move around. Again, am I saying he's going to be Trey McBride or no, right? But I'm saying he's essentially free, whether it's waivers or like throw a fourth rounder at somebody. And so, I think he is, like Thornton, going to be exciting on the island. And, do athletic things. And, I don't know, go get me the mango that's on the tree because I'm old and I can't climb it. And he has good upper body strength. So, yeah, I'm going with Chick.
Okay. Right on. I have actually never seen him play football. So I really don't know much about him. But that's exciting. Right on. All right. I am going to go with a guy that I think needs a little grooming, again, like Jameson Williams, maybe, but I think has all the ability in the world. They were once teammates, Jeremy Ruckert. All right. I still believe that given time to develop, he's got the traits to just be a stud, and so, Ruckert and I, we're going to hang out. We're going to tell stories. We're going to talk about the great tight ends in history, and he's going to, I'm going to teach him. He's going to learn, and Ruckert's going to be my guy of the future.
I figured you were going to go Ruckert. By
really?
the way, for what it's worth,
I thought about Cade Otton for the same,
yeah.
Kind of the same reason.
Yeah, no, Cade Otton was my tight end 3 going into the draft. So, for what it's worth, Sal Lito, the guy who does the podathon for SFB, right? His his family is like friends with Ruckert. Like I think.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and he said, he said the same thing. Stash this guy. He's excelled at everything he's done. He's a hard worker, great teammate, absolutely great person, underutilized at Ohio State. And he said, stash this guy. And I think Ruckert grew up, not that this matters much, but just for fun, Rutgers, I think, grew up. Rutgers grew up a Jets fan, I think. Right, he's from the area, so yeah,
that's always fun when you play for the team that you grew up rooting for.
Yeah.
Like for the Eagles, it was Vinnie Curry and Corey Clement. We're both Eagles fans growing up, and Corey Clement was even sweeter for him because he didn't get drafted, and then was sort of a Super Bowl star for the team he grew up playing.
Kind of like Mark Wahlberg.
Everybody in that entire movie has a New York accent that drives me crazy.
Did Mike Kinney say he works at 4 a.m.?
Yeah.
What the heck? Okay, so
he's already slept. He's obviously already slept.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm assuming. Wow. Like he probably goes to bed when he gets done work, and then gets up and has his day, and then goes to work.
All right, Mike. So who's got the point? You're looking at
Cooks. Yeah. I have it written down.
All right. Okay.
Cooks, Thornton, and Okonkwo for Brian. Mm-hmm. I didn't talk about my 28-year-old receiver. My bad. That would be the cheetah. That would be the cheetah himself.
Okay.
Mr. Tyreek Hill.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, I mean, I was just going with the fastest, thickest, sturdiest, most useful person for us on the island.
You got some fast receivers on your island, right?
Yeah, we do. Like I said, we're just gonna race cheetahs, basically. We're not gonna eat them.
Okay. Well, racing them is kind of exploiting them too.
No. It's Tyreek is gonna race against the cheetah.
Oh, not like horse racing. Like okay.
No. That's horrible. Horse racing is horrible. Sorry.
Yeah. I approve. Yeah.
Not as bad as greyhound racing, but still bad.
Oh, don't get me started.
Anyway,
I mean, it's all bad, but yeah.
Yeah, I was never more disillusioned in my life than when I went to that track in Connecticut. But anyway, moving on.
All right, currently 8:30 Pacific time. Mike Kinney, who wins?
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Okay. All right, Mike, who wins? Oh, I'm sorry. I was Tyreek, J-Mo, and Rucker. Brian was Cooks, Thornton, and Okonkwo. All right. So while he calculates the victor there. All right. So, Brian, if you were deserted, or if you are stranded on a deserted island, give me one Camp Darling, one post-hype player, and one off-the-radar player that you would bring with you.
Yeah. Okay. So
you better not take my off-the-radar.
I probably won't, because I love off-the-radar guys, and I got a million of them. And okay. I mean, I'm sitting there arguing with you last night that Kennedy Brooks is going to be the goal line back in Philly.
Yeah, so he's not going to make the team. He's not.
So, and that's why Camp Darling was hard for me, because like we were saying last night, I try not.
I win.
Well, no, he just said you both had the same receiver. He didn't say that you get the point.
He said, well, I think he's saying Jesse with the win, ... because we both had the win.
Mike, can you please clarify? This is important here.
It is important. I've never won a game. So.
All right, so Camp Darling was hard for me because, like we were saying last night, I try not to pay too much attention to it, right? Like I try not to look at like the tweet about every fart that somebody has in a 7-on-7, right? So I kind of
Jesse with the point.
He went with chalk. I went with fun, creative guys. Jesus. Anyway, so it's hard for me because I haven't. So I don't really know a whole lot about. I should say that. Okay, so we talked about Camp Buzz last night, so I know the guys that we talked about. But like for example, you said Tutu Atwell had some helium, and I'm like, really? So.
I wouldn't call him a darling, but yeah, he definitely does have some helium.
So, take it with a grain of salt. It depends on what tweets I see and all that, though. But this is, I'm going to go chalky here, and we already talked about him. And that's George Pickens. And I'm saying this because I want to be wrong relative to where I had him going into the draft. We talked a lot about it last night, so I'm not gonna really repeat it too much. But it's a guy I kind of saw as lacking intangibles, and athletic, but the two knees and the effort and Georgia's a running team, and so I was cautious about him and had him I think wide receiver 6 or 8, maybe going into the draft. I was cautious on him and Burks, by the way, and both of them have risen for me. And so I based on what I've seen, we talked about it last night. Mike Tomlin's not going to let any bullshit happen. So I think Pickens is going to be a good boy, and he's going to block and all that, and he's got probably alpha skills, upside. So I was wrong about George Pickens. I still don't think he's Garrett or J-Mo or Olave, but I was wrong about Pickens, and so he's my camp darling.
Okay, nice. Yeah, I do think if he has his head screwed on straight, I do think he has star written all over him. He has amazing ability. That is something that I did see on tape.
All right. So, and what's next now? Do you want me to go back and forth, or
let's go back and forth because
okay,
I'll forget. Let's go. I'm going with Brian Robinson.
Okay. All right.
So this is a guy we talked about on Fever as well. Brian Robinson, he's one of those guys that coming into the draft that does everything right.
Mm-hmm.
My stepfather used to say this about his father. He's what is it? Jack of all trades, master of none.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that's how I see Brian Robinson. Although that's probably selling him a little short because he probably is kind of a master at the power game, and in time, he's already, for a rookie, a really good pass blocker, and he's already a good pass blocker. Let's leave out the for a rookie part.
Mm-hmm.
So he could absolutely become a master at pass blocking. He's the type of player that coaches just love, and Ron Rivera is one of the most old school coaches in the NFL, and Brian Robinson is going to be his darling in season, not just in camp.
He's a football player.
Yeah, absolutely. The contrast with Gibby it's interesting that they're on the same team, because it is such a big contrast, and it's obvious that the coaching staff loves the talent of Gibson. Obviously, does not love the person or the player. I'll say the player of Gibson because I don't know him as a person. So yeah, I'm going with B-Rob.
Okay.
If I have him on, if I have that man on a deserted island with me, all right. So we're pretty safe, right? He's taking first watch. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah. So with B-Rob, as we talked about last night, I kind of had to come around on him. Had him at I think 4, 5, maybe going into the draft eventually, and kept him there. Put it this way: B-Rob or Rachaad White?
B-Rob.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, and I think they were very close for me going into rookie drafts. Maybe slight preference for B-Rob because I think he's more well-rounded. I think he'll do better at running relative to Rachaad White than the gap between Rachaad White as a receiver and B-Rob as a receiver. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so that's why I kind of preferred B-Rob. So I love that. I love that. Yeah.
First time I ever saw one of your dogs. Very cute.
Oh, okay. And so
just walked through.
Two he's, Toby and Bentley.
Oh, okay. Hi, Bentley.
That's Toby.
Hi, Toby.
I have headphones on.
Oh, well. or Kunta, whichever you'd like to go by. If you don't want to.
I think we should move forward and talk a little bit about. Let's talk a little bit about what's the next one?
Post hype.
Post hype. Okay, so I'm gonna turn the tables on you a little bit, right? And I'm gonna play a Who Am I? All right.
Okay. Yeah.
Now again, people who are listening, keep your pants on, right? I'm not saying to the moon, right? I'm saying post hype. I'm saying relative to where he's being valued. Okay. All right. So this player in 2020 played 13 games and was running back 22 in total points PPR and 23 in points per game with 13.5.
How many games did he play?
13, right? Okay. In 2021, this running back only played 10 games, right, which probably affected things. So he dropped to 42 total in PPR, but only to 30 in points per game with 11.7. So you're shaving off 1.8 points per game, which can make a difference, but not, it's not like a totally falling off a cliff, right? And so this is somebody who, relative to the hype and now the post, I want him as a value. And that's, who do you think?
Is it Darrell Henderson?
No.
Because I feel like he's always performed well when he was in there. But he's probably missed more time than that. Mike Kinney's guessing DeAndre Swift.
No, I don't think there's any post on Swift.
Yeah, right. Agreed. I don't know. I'm not very good at this game either, apparently.
Yes, you are.
I am? Miles Sanders?
Let me put it to you this way.
Nah, he didn't play that many games either.
He's a Chris Harris character that you stole and twisted a little bit for wording.
Oh, CEH?
Yes.
Okay.
So,
man, telling on me. Giving away my trade secrets.
Yeah. So, I just, again, like, everybody wants CEH, right? Because it's production relative to the hype. And people love to say, I was saying that people were drunk on landing spot and I was a CEH hater and now I'm right. And it's like, no, you're not right. You're not right. Because I'm, again, not saying, right, he's, Javonte Williams, Najee Harris, right? I'm saying where he's getting drafted, he's a value. I'm saying I could easily see him as a top 20 back in 2022. I'm saying in an offense that's still shaping its identity, which we already talked about, has, probably a good long-term asset in Sky Moore, Juju with a knee, MVS, right? Like there's, they're hyping Pacheco for crying out loud, right? Who, again, I like, and I was on pre-draft. What I'm saying is there's an opportunity for CEH to really be released as a route runner and get a lot more involved in the passing game, right? Will McKinnon get snaps? Yes. Will somebody be more between the tackles, whether it's some combo of Rojo and Pacheco or even friggin' Derek Gore makes the 53? But I think CEH has been dinged so much because of the hype. He's now underrated and is a value.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I agree. Now, we have to explore that a little further, though, because that's how we do it on this show.
Of course.
If he's a value, what are you, and I own him, what are you offering me for him?
Well, okay, so I'm going to assume, right, that you're like everybody else. You're the community. You're everybody. And you don't like
never assume that with me.
Well, okay, you know what I mean. Right? So if I'm in a league with somebody, I'm going to assume that they almost feel kind of stuck with CEH, right? That, like, they haven't tried to push him because they think there's a dip, and right. So I'm going into that. That's gonna, like, I think, shape my offer, right? So I might start with well, if we're just doing picks, right? Like players, like, right. So
okay, we'll start with picks and then we'll try to.
So if we're just doing picks, I'll start you with like a second and third, right? Thinking that 2 seconds will probably get it done, and I'll be okay doing that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not doing it for a second and a third.
Yeah,
and let's, for the sake of this, say that I'm a rebuilder.
Okay.
All right. So for the sake of the picks part of it, All right, so because as a contender, it's going to be much harder to get him for me for picks.
Sure. Okay.
Right?
So as a
rebuilder,
I'd probably
I'm motivated to do this. Right.
I'd probably start
2
with
seconds.
2 seconds.
Yeah. A second and a third. I'm going to tell you to go fly a kite.
Yeah.
Right. Or I'm going to tell you to
go pound sand up the Rio Grande.
Exactly. Right. So the 2 seconds, if one of them minimum has to be a 2023.
Oh, for sure.
Minimum one of them I have to have a good feeling is going to be early.
Sure.
And if you give me a 23 and a 24, and I feel like the 23 is going to be early, I'd probably do that. Yeah. As a rebuilder, because obviously things could absolutely go sideways for him in season.
Sure.
It has a number of seasons in a row. I still like the talent. I mean, everyone's problem with CEH is that nobody liked the value for what nobody liked the value for what the talent was. Right? It was all situation, and we knew it. Not all situation, because I do think he's a good back.
Mm-hmm.
I in the past, I think I've made the mistake of calling him Devin Singletary, which in a way is true. They're both slow as shit. But I think Devin Singletary is more of the competent, good vision, does things right, no explosion kind of guy. Where CEH, I think, is a little more agile and can cut, and can definitely break a tackle here and there. Duff does not have good vision. And I think that's a big part of his. He's just not something tells me that he fucks up a lot in practice. And Andy Reid doesn't take kindly to that. Speculation, narrative street, I know. I'll call myself out when I come out with bullshit. Right. But no, I like it. I do like him as a post-hype player. Yeah. Mine is going to be Van Jefferson.
I love it.
Yeah, so if you remember at the beginning of last year, the Rams came out and they were Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp. My neighbors got real sick of hearing me screaming Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp!
How many teams does he have, this guy on?
And but instead of Robert Woods, they were making a real concerted effort to make Van Jefferson a thing.
Remember, had some good weeks, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good 4 or 5 weeks to start the season where they were, they were running 3 wide receivers as their base, and Van Jefferson playing out of this. Well, actually, I'm sorry, playing the Y was acting as the number 2 wide receiver, and Robert Woods was really taking the back seat. And then, I'm sure there was some chirping in the locker room or whatever happened, but then they started making a concerted effort to get Robert Woods the ball for a week or two. He had a couple touchdowns. He had a 100-yard game, and then he got hurt. But then they just signed OBJ. So a lot of weird things happened with the Rams last year. You could see early on that they like Van Jefferson. And if you remember coming out, into the draft, he was a darling of reception perception. Matt
Harmon.
Thank you. And there were a lot of people that really liked Van Jefferson. Good route runner, real smooth, good speed and quickness, good football player. So, a lot of different things happened on the way to the Rams Super Bowl victory last year. And I think they went in a lot of different directions purposely to get there. And, maybe Van Jefferson wasn't the focal point, but at this point, once he comes back, people are really, really forgetting about him. If I'm on a desert island, the guy that everybody forgot about is Van Jefferson, because I think he's young with a lot of ability and can really help the team.
Listen, you're not going to
get
it's
a minor injury. It's not like he's coming back from something catastrophic.
Yeah, you're not going to get any complaints from me. I find myself as like the Van Jefferson defender, right? And then people are ready to bury him because they signed A-Rob. They signed A-Rob because they're the Rams, right? he's good. He's fine.
Right.
A-Rob is going to not be a thing soon enough.
Right.
Cooper Kupp is going to be 30 soon enough. Like, I know, I don't want to Kupp slander on this show, but so I'm perfectly okay with Van Jefferson. My only critique would be, I guess maybe I didn't know how much hype there was to be post. I guess maybe I didn't see the hype to then come down, but yeah. But I think you can get him real cheap now. I think people kind of feel like they're stuck with him, and you could probably get him for cheap. Yeah.
I like him. He's a nice stash for me. I'm not selling him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, same here. Absolutely. Yeah.
All right. Cool. Who's your off the radar guy?
Okay. So here's the thing, right? So when I used to do the Sunday pregame show with Fantasy and Frames, right? We did this weekly, we didn't really call it sleepers, but like wide receivers outside the top 24. And I'm always going to like wide receiver 49 and 63, right? Because that's just what I do. I love this kind of shit, right?
Right on.
So when you told me off the radar, I thought like, how far off the radar can I go?
Well, what I said was guys that aren't being drafted.
Okay. And I think I got two for you, but so our pal Memphis, big fan of the Colts, and I DM'd him about this guy.
And I'll let you have two, by the way, because I have three. But go on.
Okay. Right. And Memphis, if you're listening, I DM'd you about him, and you never got back to me. Maybe I should have put it in the group chat because he seems to like see that more and be more active there. But as you said, he's busy. But anyway, Devontae Price, undrafted free agent running back. Okay.
Nice.
So this is a guy who is.
This is a guy.
Is a guy. A little John Madden for you, right? Yeah. When I looked at him, going into the draft again, this is like my wheelhouse. Not super great. I'm not saying to the moon. What's a guy that I think is better than most people think? I'm higher on the consensus that I think I can sort of think about as a value. So like going into the draft, I was higher than him coming out because obviously he's a UDFA, right? But we're talking about a guy who goes to a small school, Florida International, sorry, so he gets overlooked, right? But 6'1", 6'2", 215. So
great size.
Yeah, and great, and he has. I think it was a 4.40 or something like that.
Yeah, I remember him having excellent speed.
Right.
Wait, was he the guy? Was he the fastest 40 guy?
I don't.
The guy that they had that broke the record and they walked it back and.
I don't know that he was that.
It. Okay.
I don't know. I forget.
Oh,
right?
Was that might have been Danny Gray? But go on.
So and he's noted by people who know better than I that he was already good in pass pro, good contact balance, enough vision and footwork to get by, but needs improvement on that. Okay, right? Didn't get many looks as a receiver, but wasn't bad when he got the looks, right? So he now basically is competing with the likes of Tyson Williams, CJ Verdell, and Philip Lindsay as being one John JT ankle injury away from maybe getting some run.
Yeah. Because Naeem Hines is obviously not a lead back.
Right.
He's still going to share. He's still going to share time.
Right. Mm-hmm. So my thing, I tried to check in with Memphis. Like, have you heard anything about him? Because the way you follow Eagles camp, I figured he's followed the camp.
Right.
So I could be way off base. I mean, like the beat reporters could be saying that this guy is not relevant at all. But when your worst competition is probably Philip Lindsay, who is going to be a veteran that people trust, sure. You want to go off the radar? Go off the radar with Devontae Price.
I think we need to check in with friend of the show, Donaldson. David Donaldson on this one. He's a big Colts fan. He'll know all about it.
I'm surprised he's not watching, and he'll probably throw cold water on it the way that you're throwing cold water on Kennedy Brooks. But
we'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see. All you need is a guy like that to make the team to have a chance.
Yeah, right. And
especially at running back.
And he could who knows? Maybe with that size, he plays some special teams and can size and speed and can go. What do they call it? Gunner or whatever? Like go down there and tackle people. Yeah.
Yes. Yes, the worst, absolute worst. You have to be a psychotic person to do that. That's, oof, man. I just the one thing I hated playing high school football was punt and kick coverage, man, or even or returns. Both of them, like special teams, is rough, man. You get blindsided like crazy. People come out of nowhere. I hated that.
I played football in 7th and 8th grade, and that's it. My first action on the field was on punt team. So,
oh, I hate it.
it was a blocker. I wasn't running down the field or anything like that. But on a deserted island, I want a guy who, I don't know, probably has some good stories from being at FIU. Probably some good parties down there.
Probably, yeah, I would assume so. Yeah.
And the size and speed could be useful when animals attack. So, yeah.
All right. Who's your second one?
You want me to do two?
Yeah, you do your two.
Or do you want to go back and forth? Okay. So this one is interesting, right? This is completely like, I don't even know if I even believe this, right? Long COVID, Reichwell Armstead.
Oh.
Simply because I want to reward this guy for going through what he went through.
I don't know this story.
And he basically lost like a year and a half of his career with long COVID, like more or less, right? And so,
wow,
yeah. And so, I wanna sit down on an island and talk with this guy about what that was like and what it's like to like try to come back and be in shape and be an NFL running back again. And I want to ask him like, hey, I know I hype up Snoop Connor on a daily basis. What do you feel your chances are with, a J-Rob Achilles and a head coach that likes to deploy a lot of running backs and no Carlos Hyde, the narrative that I'm giving everybody on Snoop Connor. Do you think it's a narrative for you? I'd like to hear his answer to that.
And you want somebody that knows how to overcome adversity in a situation like that, right? All right, I love it. Love it. I don't want him on my team, but I'll take him on an island.
Good story.
Right on. All right. Yeah, it is. It is. All right, cool. So my off the radar guy is one running back, Jason Huntley.
Oh yeah, we were talking about him last night.
Yeah. So he was originally with the Lions. I don't know if he got waived, or I think the Eagles might have actually signed him off the practice squad and then snuck him onto their practice squad, or they cut him in camp and we picked him up. But we've had him for a little while. What?
I hate when people say we.
I have a fellowship with this team. We have a bond. All right. Howie Roseman calls me before every move. You didn't know that? He telegraphs me.
I got you.
All right. So, yeah, but Jason Huntley is a bigger back than really anyone on the team. Miles Sanders has a little size, but he doesn't play like he has size. Huntley plays with size, plays physical, and has speed, right? So if anybody knows the Eagles' offense from last season, and even the last few seasons, Jordan Howard's had a role, right? Because he was really the only bigger, tough back that we had, right? And when you look at Jason Huntley compared to Boston Scott, Kenny Gainwell, and Miles Sanders, you have three guys with a lot of redundant skill sets and then a third guy with a completely different skill set. So when the Eagles need tough yardage, I don't believe that they're going to go to Boston Scott. And I don't believe that they're going to go to Miles Sanders. These are guys that really have proven over and over that they can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
And Gainwell doesn't have the skill set for it or the body type. Mm-hmm. Right. So I do think it's foolish to think the Eagles would go into the season with just those three backs. Mm-hmm. In my opinion, Jason Huntley's a lock to make this team. And when you're a lock to make the Eagles as a running back, you're a damn good bet to get some run at some point in the season. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Right. I know that you wanted Kennedy Brooks to get that role, but unfortunately, it's become very clear that he's very far behind these guys on the depth chart. And he's not going to make the team. He may make the practice squad. I'm not sure. but yeah, he's sort of from what I understand, he's looked a little slow-footed.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely powerful, but not something that the Eagles are looking for right now.
Mm-hmm.
So Jason Huntley is somebody, like I said, he's going to be on an NFL roster, and he's a running back, and Miles Sanders is already hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Miles Sanders played eight snaps in a preseason game and got hurt. It's a toe. It's not considered serious, but he hasn't practiced all week.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it's not good. When Miles Sanders is your lead back, and then you have two smaller guys behind him. I love the skill sets of Gainwell and Scott, but the Eagles aren't, again, with Nyheim Hines, these guys aren't lead backs. They're going to share a role, right? So Jason Huntley is going to be that guy.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
All right,
I can dig it. It's off the radar. I think that Kennedy Brooks needs to do like a Tanya Harding and get somebody to break Jason Huntley's kneecaps. Right? Jason Huntley is 5'9", 193, by the way.
Yeah, but he plays with power, man.
Brooks
he
is 5'11", 209.
Yeah, right on. And can't outrun me.
Matt Waldman Darling, and who said he has, I think, the best contact balance in the draft. So
right on. Has not shown that in camp. All right.
Taxi stash.
So mine, yes, absolutely. Yes. A guy you could probably find on waivers. Both of those guys, by the way. All right, so my next guy could probably work post hype and off the radar. In fact, definitely could. Would be one Kenny Galladay. All right, so obviously huge contract. Had one huge year and another real good year with the Lions. Really looked like an alpha out there. Had an injury, signed with the Giants, and then last year, I tried to tell myself for a lot of the year that it was just Danny Dimes, and Dimes doesn't trust the type of receiver he is and just won't throw up, the contested ball. But also, then I saw the Giants play, and I realized that he didn't look great, Galladay, last year. He didn't look like himself. So I'm not sure if it took a little more time to recover from the injury or if he's done. But what I do know is that you can get him for nothing.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
There are very few players, in my experience, that you tell yourself is worth a third, and the owner tells himself is worth a third, but you can actually get for a third.
Yeah.
Right?
That's very true. Yeah.
How many times do you send a third for a player and the guy's like, oh yeah, done. It has to be somebody like Uzuma. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That it has to be a throwaway. Mm-hmm. People just don't value thirds. Galladay, I think you can get for a third, or like a third and a fourth.
I think the name and the hope and the I've held on to him for this long, you probably have to add the fourth, but yeah.
Okay. But also, this guy's a roster clogger, and I want him off my team.
Absolutely.
If I can get something for a guy that I considered cutting,
Oh, for sure. Listen.
And I think he's way better than that.
If you DM'd me and said, interested in getting Galladay off your roster, right? The Undertaker thing where he like pops up out of the right. Wait, what?
Yeah.
What? You want Galladay? Whoa. Let me dust him off a little bit. He looks good, doesn't
he? Yeah, Paul Bear popping up out of the coffin. Yeah, yes. Perfect.
Yeah, sure.
Right on. Yeah, I mean, I think Galladay has a chance to have a good season. I'm not saying that this guy is going to go out and even be your wide receiver 3. That's the stretch. Right. Mm-hmm. But I do think that there's a very, very solid chance in a Daboll offense. Another year with Dimes. Hopefully they did some work together in the offseason. have learned each other a little. Could have a season that could be a contributor. Flex play, bye week play. If you're getting them for nothing, you know what I mean? And especially if you're doing a startup. I just got him in the 22nd round of a tournament. Are you playing in that ACG tournament, charity tournament, by the way?
The what
run
now?
by Juan Jeezy?
Everything you just said is Greek to me.
Are you flip flap, blip blop, gloop glorp?
That's pretty much when a dog hears a human talk. That's what Charlie Brown. Yeah.
Right on. Okay. So it's a Scott Fishbowl scoring alternate tournament that an industry guy runs, and really, really good guy, and it's for charity. But anyway, in that tournament, it's only an 8-team league division or 8-team division, but 22nd round, Galladay, right? I mean, it's a little too far. It's way too far.
Yeah. For sure.
All right. So those are my two. I do have another name to throw out there, right? And and also if I'm on a deserted island, I do want a veteran presence like Galladay with me. I want somebody that's been around, has done it before, knows how to survive, right? Has gotten himself paid. But just one more name. I've mentioned it a couple times. Not sure on this show, maybe just on Fever, but Britton Covey. Britton Covey is a player that the Eagles signed as an undrafted free agent. He is a little slot receiver, an electric returner. Really has shown that if Jalen Reagor gets traded, could be our backup slot receiver. Could make the team if Reagor gets traded. Is basically a lock for the practice squad if not. So just real off the radar. Britton Covey, little guy, but really quick and really fast. Excellent hands and just a good receiver with a really good idea of where to be and how to beat zone and how to beat man. So kind of a rare combination. If this guy had a little more size, he'd have gotten some run in the draft.
Okay. Yeah, I remember you talking about him. Yeah. What the hell? Why not? Right? Roll the dice. Very off the radar. Probably more off the radar than mine was, which is hard to do.
Right on.
So,
all right. Listen, so just to recap this round
for Mike. Yeah, Mike needs to score.
Right. So Brian had Camp Darling Pickens, post hype CEH. Off the radar were Devontae Price and Raekwon Armstead. I had B-Rob as my Camp Darling, Van Jefferson as my post hype, and off the radar were Jason Huntley and Kenny Galladay.
Do I have permission to go pee real quick?
Yeah, absolutely.
I hate doing that on a live. I just, it's
we don't edit on this one either.
It's either a seltzer can or okay.
No, go for it. I actually have a trade that I want to work on while you're gone, so we'll talk to the listeners. I got an offer earlier of. No, that wasn't. Well, I have a guy looking for Pittman, right? And he offered me. Give me a second here. It was Christian Kirk and Amari Cooper. And I'm not doing that for Pittman. And he even PM'd me or DM'd me and was like, hey, this is just a starting point. I think it's a little light. But little starting. It's just a starting point. Tell me what you'd actually like to have. And then in the meantime, when I was thinking about it, he actually traded Cooper and Kirk for Mike Evans and a third. Right. So now he's got Mike Evans, and this is a team that I consider the favorite, if not one of two favorites to win the championship. A lot of elite pieces, JT, Cooper Kupp, Kelsey, Ross, Stafford, Carr. So a lot of pieces, a lot of depth pieces as well. And I'm just wondering if Mike Evans plus gets me a title and a little something for the future, or if Mike Evans gives me a better chance to win a title than Pittman. So this is why I'm considering actually doing it. But what I need to ask, and I'll ask Brian a lot more concisely when he gets back, like, what do I need on top of Mike Evans?
I'm really sorry. I hate to leave you alone on a live like that. Yeah.
No worries. I just rambled about a trade I'm trying to make.
Okay.
For a team where it's me and another team that I feel are the top two. I got a guy coming after Michael Pittman. I have a lot of elite pieces, right? So definitely a win now team. What would you need on top of Mike Evans to get Michael Pittman, right? Because my idea is I think Mike Evans would help me win this year more than Pittman, maybe, unless Pittman busts out. And then so I need something on top of Mike Evans to make up for the years that I'm losing off Pittman. And the chance that he busts out is better than Mike Evans this year, right?
Sure.
So
yeah.
Is it like Pittman in a first? I mean, Evans in a first, or is that crazy?
I don't think you'll get that, but
right. I mean, am I a dick if I ask for that?
No. I see, and I'm a professional at telling people to go fuck themselves, and I wouldn't tell you to go fuck to go.
You wouldn't.
No.
If I wasn't your friend. And I was just a random guy in the league, and they sent you that, well, how would you react?
I'd say I'd say that's a little steep, and I'd talk about how Evans is Mr. Consistency, and how you have a win now team, and can you count on Matt Ryan, and and so I would try to talk you down to I don't know. Let's see, Evans plus, second and maybe 2 seconds, maybe like a second and a depth running back,
maybe we can find a player on his roster after the show if you get a little time.
So just FYI, a guy that is crazy for Pittman gave me Ayuk and Devonta Smith.
So, kind of like that. Yeah. I don't think that's crazy though.
I mean,
I can make a case for all three of those players not really being much this year,
but I mean to have two of the not going to be much instead of the one.
Yeah.
I mean,
hell yeah. I mean, my philosophy going back to I developed this in my 1996, my second year of fantasy is
always have the best player in the deal.
No, absolutely not.
Okay.
Not what I was going to say.
Okay.
Just get players in the best offenses. Just get talented players in good offenses and let them work it out. Don't sit around trying to figure out what NFL teams are going to do. Just get the good players on the good offenses. And that's what Ayuk is all day.
So Mike Kinney is just terrible at this. Off the top rope.
Oh, yeah.
I come up with creative choices that are off the, and he just can't give the Jesse.
Los Aguilas. Woo! Who just won their first ever Dynasty War.
Whoa. We have one more left.
Victorioso. But I'm up to nothing.
Are you?
Yeah.
God damn it.
Woo! All right, I'm just going to give you one of these. Limousine driving, airplane flying, 60-minute man, and I do it all the time. Woo!
13-time world champ. Mike, you're lazy. You have no vision. You have no vision. You don't appreciate creativity and dynamics and different. Come on, man.
If nothing else on this entire planet that Mike is, he is loyal. Every single podcast, and then he goes with the thank you, Mike. Thank you, Mike. Oh.
Yeah, so it took. Hold on a second. There's an asterisk for your win, right? It took.
Who's it? Judged by a third party.
That's
an independent third party.
It took an audience score, and Mike not being here and playing against Cousin Shemp.
But didn't you get your win off of audience scoring?
Yeah. Come on, man. Hey, it's all about narrative, right? Spin. Right, but we do have one more though, just for fun. And I know I'm going to lose this one. I'm going to lose this one.
All right. Hold on one second here.
This one has to do with food, and as you know, what?
Best audience in the biz. That's right.
Wait, what now?
Mike Kinney says that.
You showed the wrong comment. I was like, wait, are you reversing?
No, actually, I literally never took that off from when you beat Mike. I never took it down. Mike Kinney, best audience in the win in the biz. I have to agree. And we're just gonna leave this. I gotta go with Jesse again, and that is Jesse.
That's Mike's. Mike should change his handle in the group chat. I gotta go with Jesse again.
So, question, because I'm about to bust a spleen or bladder. Is there anything you could talk about for 2 minutes?
You do not want to do that.
Football related.
Football related. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna talk about. Yeah. Go ahead. I'm gonna talk about Brevin Jordan.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. So
perfect. Love that guy.
So I'm the Brevin Jordan guy, right? And people, laugh at me when I talk about being high on Brevin Jordan. I had him as high as I think 12, Dynasty tight end 12. At one point, and I saw a lot of promise. I saw a guy who, receiving wise, was probably the tight end 2 in that class. And Freiermuth was the better blocker, so he was higher valued as a more complete player. Me and a lot of other folks thought 5th round was a steal for Brevin Jordan. And I've been the conductor of the hype train. And, as I've said before, I support Mills as a quarterback on the come up, improving team chemistry that he showed already. Did much better, I think with Mills than he did with Tyrod Taylor, if I'm remembering the stats correctly. I think the arrow is still pointing up on Brevin Jordan. People tried to float Pharaoh Brown might be the starter. The starter is the first person on the field, right? It's football. It's not baseball. Starters aren't, right? So, Brevin Jordan's still going to be the passing weapon. Don't fear Pharaoh Brown. I don't fear the 2 rookies that they have there either. Again, he's a guy that I'm not saying is to the moon, right? But relative on where people have him, and in the range that I'm ranking him with question marks like Irv Smith and Njoku, and do we really know Albert O can do it? Yeah, give me Brevin Jordan. After a certain point at the tight end, it's like, why not this guy? And so I will say, though, one reason I did want to talk about him, though, is, I've been adjusting my rankings a lot lately in the offseason, trying to get like a quote unquote final, preseason rankings, or want to call it first in season rankings, right? And I knocked Jordan down a few spots. So I think I have him now at 14 instead of like the 12 that he was surfing at for a while there. What happens a lot with my rankings is it's not so much an indictment on the players so much as other people rising. Almost like a Tank Bigsby situation, right? So I still have Knox, Gesicki, and McBride ahead of him. So I have Jordan at 14, but I still have him above Njoku, Albert O, Irv Smith, Hunter Henry, Noah Fant. Like give me Jordan. If in a sea of question marks, I'll pick mine, and I think Jordan's got the best shot.
Nice, like it. So I came back for the last part of that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. What was the Tank Bixby comparison?
So Tank Bigsby is there's definitely dings on him, but I think there's a significant portion of his, and again, I'm not the college football expert, but from what I can see, a significant portion of his sort of slide in Debbie rankings is definitely, an indictment on him, but more so a bigger slice of the pie, I think, is other people rising. And so, he has to fall. So, yeah. But I was kind of,
I still really, really like Tank Bixby.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think he can kind of be almost a value at this point. But again, college football and Debbie and C2C, like I am not, I'm not the guy. Like I'm, I'm definitely a novice. So
I have watched Tank Bixby, and my comp is Chubb.
Okay, I can see that. Yeah.
All right, so let's get to the fun one.
Yeah.
All right. So if you're on a deserted island, which we're gonna go. I want to go through them, and then we'll list what we want. Which condiment, food condiment, which dessert, and which grillable food would you bring with you?
So I'm interested in the distinction of a food condiment as opposed to what other kind of condiment?
Oh. Well, I wanted to make sure people knew we were talking about food. I don't know. I think the word condiment can be applied to other things.
Scrabble.
Failing.
Dictionary. What is going on?
I'm failing. Yeah, challenge. I'm failing to come up with an example.
Yeah. So when I was a kid, all the way up until like my 20s, I was Mr. Ketchup. Put ketchup on everything.
That's my favorite food.
I was the guy who would get steak well done with ketchup. Like, Now, partly because I don't eat animals anymore, and partly just because my tastes have changed, I'm not Mr. Ketchup anymore.
Do you still eat it though?
Oh yeah, I still for sure. So
on your fries,
if you don't have ketchup on your fries, like then just leave. Like you're not a human being, and you deserve no attention from me whatsoever.
Yeah, I call them ketchup holders.
Yeah,
that's what fries are.
So my condiment is going to be peanut sauce, right? Because I acquired that taste when I started like diversifying what I cooked, and I diversified what I cooked after I stopped eating dead animals. And so it went with a lot of the stuff I was cooking. You can dip like spring rolls in it. You can use a peanut marinade. You can put it in a stir fry with stuff like that. And my guess is
you can make a wrap with some lettuce and some vegetables, and it's a delicious dressing.
And my vision of the deserted island is going to have things that mix with peanut sauce more than they're going to mix with ketchup. So my condiment is going to be peanut sauce.
And I hate to, give you a bump and give you, help you get a point, but it's also a great source of protein.
Okay, there you
go. Something you really are going to need on that island. Can I give you my recipe for spicy peanut sauce?
Yes. Just to be clear, though, here, this is a scrimmage because Mike went to bed.
Oh, okay. Well, I already won. And Mike did go to bed.
Well, this particular round is a scrimmage.
Yeah, well, no, yeah, okay.
I would actually be curious to see what he scored because my vegan stuff plays out through this whole.
Yeah, yeah, but I'm going to win desserts. I have a specific reason, but anyway, I love spicy peanut sauce. So, it's peanut butter, chunky peanut butter, right? I like the Trader Joe's natural one because it doesn't separate as much as a lot of natural peanut butters.
Their No Stir Crunchy isn't in stock for like months now.
That's the one. Yeah, I guess I haven't had to buy it for a while, but yeah, that's the one I like. That Frank's Red Hot, little avocado oil, tamari sauce, which is just gluten-free soy sauce. I believe that's it. Oh, and a little warm water.
Sure.
Because you have to, or you can, a little warm water and you can throw it in the microwave if you still, because it's hard to stir peanut butter.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to get it warm and liquidy, and then you put it in the fridge and it kind of solidifies.
Mm-hmm.
But
Love it.
It's a simple recipe, but it comes out great. It's delicious. If you like spicy foods, put a little more Frank's Red Hot. I tried it with sriracha, and I love sriracha, but for some reason, I like the Frank's better with it. It's just for some reason, this is just really good flavor. Even though you would think that the sriracha goes better with the Asian flavors, not really.
Yeah, I can dig it. Yeah.
You know. All right, so mine's going to be chow chow.
What now? The what now?
It's called chow chow, right? And this is it's a type of relish. It's popular in the Southeast United States. It's cabbage, peppers, and I'm not sure what else. Probably onions, little bit of onion, chopped up in julienne, right? So like fine slivers, and I've never made it, but it's just a delicious. It's a delicious combination of vinegar and sugar and spice, right? That I love. Sort of like a cold gastrique with cabbage and peppers and onions, and really delicious. I guess it would be similar to like a sweet coleslaw, but not really, because it's like the consistency of a relish.
Okay.
And it just really goes well on hot dogs, burgers. I know you don't eat that kind of stuff, but vegan sausage goes, I would assume, that it goes well on. But I love it. I was introduced to it by a good friend of mine, Kenny Thompson, and Kenny Thompson from Anderson, South Carolina. I call him Kenny Anderson from Thompson, South Carolina. For some reason, it annoys the shit out of him when I mix those.
Maybe he wasn't a Knicks fan.
Very nice reference. But yeah, he invited me over to his family's house for a barbecue, and his mom had made this delicious chow chow that I put on every single thing that she made. And everything that came off that grill, I put chow chow on it. And then I asked them about it, and she won't give out a recipe, so I can't make it. I don't know what it's made. I don't know exactly how to make it, but he did tell me like where to go in Myrtle Beach, like what stores to go to Myrtle Beach where you can buy good chow chow. And I did find it in Maryland, actually, at the we went pumpkin picking. One of the most torturous days of my life. We went to pick out pumpkins from a patch, and that was supposed to be fun because I had a wheelbarrow, apparently. But the silver lining on that day was that I got a jar of chow chow, and I know where to get more.
So is it spelled like chow, like would chow something down?
Yeah, like the dog.
Yeah.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's my condiment. I mean, and like you, I am a ketchup person. And I grew up, ketchup goes on everything. Potatoes get ketchup. My grandmother would get mad at me because I'd put ketchup on my mashed potatoes instead of her gravy. Like potatoes get ketchup. Steak, beef, hot dogs, everything gets ketchup. Mac and cheese.
Ooh, that's good.
Ketchup.
Mac and cheese and a little fake bacon.
I like mac and cheese and salsa. Delicious. Little Southwestern flair.
Okay.
But same as you, as I've gotten older, I've found the need to drown my food in ketchup a lot less. And I've learned to just actually try to experience flavors of food, and get a little ketchup on the side and just dip here and there. It's tough for me. Like I will order meals according to, well, there's nothing in there that really gets ketchup, so I'm not ordering that. You know what I mean? Like I don't order pasta at restaurants because pasta's cheap. Make that at home. Don't order that up. order something you can't make at home. But anyway, yeah, huge on ketchup, but I'm going with Chow Chow. Okay. That's the one I want.
I like it. I have to look into it. Yeah.
All right. So what's your dessert?
So this is interesting, right? Because I'm a vegan, and one of the first things people think about being a vegan is like, you don't eat any kind of dessert at all. Like, what's your dessert?
Of course fruit? You do.
Right.
Why not?
People
plenty of desserts without animals in them.
Yeah. So, but remember, it's not just animals. It's animals, dairy, eggs.
Sure. Yeah. Animal products. I get it.
Okay.
Yeah. So, well, there are plenty of vegetarians that eat eggs, by the way, and that baffles me.
Well, they're just vegetarians.
I run a vegetarian restaurant.
Yeah.
So they're not vegetarians. They call themselves vegetarians, but eggs are unborn chickens.
Well,
they're chicken embryos.
So vegetarians are no flesh. Vegans are no flesh, no eggs, no dairy, no, like that's, yeah.
I mean, let's not get into it. You go.
Listen, if you're
I don't want to get political because I could. I mean, like, honestly, if you give a shit about that chicken that you don't want to eat it, then you give a shit about it not being exploited to be forced to poop eggs out of it.
But that's why vegetarians suck.
Yeah, right on.
Because they're not doing it for,
the right reasons.
Well, they're not doing it for, and that's the thing. Like, they'll say, like, ethical.
It's not altruistic.
Well, they are, though. That's the thing. I'm not going to eat.
But not truly.
But exactly, because vegans take it a step further and to all the exploitation. Absolutely, yeah. Okay, so
I mean, I'm a carnivore. I'll admit it. I don't care.
Yeah,
but go on.
So there's a lot of places now though that are doing great stuff. Whether it's on the shelf in a supermarket, whether it's a restaurant, whether it's make it at home. It is. We
do amazing vegan options that I mean. Honestly, construction workers come into our place and they're like, they order the Buffalo Bill. It's got vegan bacon in it. And they love it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so there's a place in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, called Vegan Treats, and you wouldn't know it from a quiet town like Bethlehem, is in the corner or wherever, mm-hmm. But they're kind of like they're kind of like widely known. Like Vegan Treats is kind of like.
Really?
Vegan famous, like famous in the vegan community, so to speak. Right?
Rust Belt town.
And they have and they have something called a peanut butter bomb, which is this it's almost like a rounded cone looking thing that's got like this chocolate shell, and it's a little cakey on the inside too, and there's peanut butter icing, right? But then like in the middle too is like just gooey peanut butter goodness, and it's basically like, if I could eat, even though they're big, I could eat like 12 of them. Like they're so like chocolate peanut butter is like, here's sex for me.
Uh-huh. And that's your top of your head.
And here's chocolate peanut
top
butter.
Of your glasses.
Like it's almost there. Okay.
Yeah. That sounds like the type of thing that if you were holding one and told my wife she couldn't have it, she would probably murder you for it. Yeah, she's all about the chocolate peanut butter, but she's from up, northwest Jersey, Hackettstown. Ever heard of that? It's in the mountains.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. She says it like you chocolate, because you're a New Yorker, so at heart.
The people mix up Hackettstown and Hackensack, and they're
completely
vastly different. Yeah.
Hackettstown is I call her a hillbilly. It really is in the hills. But beautiful area.
And the thing is, it's not even all that hillbilly compared to other places.
It's not hillbilly. It's not hillbilly at all. It's actually really, really
further
nice.
out. It's like yeah. But yeah.
All right. So for I'm sorry. Did you give me a dessert? No. Is it the chocolate bomb?
It's a peanut butter bomb.
Yeah. Peanut butter bomb. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. Mine is going to be both delicious and useful on a deserted island, and it will be bananas Foster.
Oh, okay.
All right. So it's served over ice cream, but just to make you happy, I'm gonna serve it over dairy-free soft serve. We're gonna use almond milk. Does that work for you?
Yeah, sure.
Vanilla sweetened almond milk. Soft serve with bananas Foster over top of it, and that's just, that's just you just caramelize some sugar in a pan over a flame, and then you cook the bananas in it, and a little fresh lemon on top, maybe a little cinnamon, brown sugar. I guess classically it's butter, but you can do it with olive oil or avocado oil, not a problem.
Vegan butter, earth balance.
Delicious. Yeah, vegan butter sounds chemically to me, but avocado oil sounds good.
Oh, even better. Yeah.
And then just dump that over the almond milk soft serve, and absolutely delicious. And then when you're done, you have a flame.
Ah, okay.
So mine is both going to provide deliciousness and warmth and protection and life, basically, is what flame does for you.
Yeah, but
I mean, I kind of think that
if you're living without a peanut butter bomb, is it really living?
But it's bananas Foster. Have you ever had it?
No, I actually just learned what it is today.
Oh yeah, right. Brown sugar, caramelized.
Once you said lemon, I was out.
Oh, and the other. Oh, you know what I forgot? Oh, you don't have to throw the lemon on there. Throw it in the ocean. Who cares? You know what I forgot is rum, and then you flambe it. So
if you cook,
you also have the rum with you, so that makes life good while you're on the island.
In the bananas Foster, does it cook the booze out? Like cook the alcohol? Does. Then I can eat it.
Yeah, absolutely. But if you're on a deserted island and you don't have hope of getting off, and you have a bottle of rum, are you just going to go for it?
That's okay. So you want to have a 3-hour conversation?
No, I don't.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So sorry. My bad.
It's okay.
What's your grillable food?
So you just kind of alluded to that, like there's like vegan, and then there's like sort of processed like vegan like analogs of other food, right? And
the Beyond I'm not a big fan of because I feel like it's real chemically.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
We make our own vegan meatballs, and it's basically mushroom and tofu. And we cook them down, add a bunch of spice and soy sauce, and make them into mushroom, or make them into meatballs and bake them. To me, they're funky as hell, and I don't like them at all. But I don't like tofu; it's like feet.
Yeah.
After a while.
Yeah.
But anyway, But yeah, the chemically fake stuff just really grosses me out.
That's interesting, right? Because I'm going to go with that for once. So, okay. I'm not one of those vegans who are like, oh, I don't miss the meat, so I don't have to. Like, in a way, yes, I don't really miss the meat so I don't really need to have fake meat or whatever. But some of that shit fucking tastes good, and
I mean, if you like it, you like it. That's the bottom line.
Most of the time, I'm not eating the analogs, right? I'm just eating fruit, vegetables, And,
what is that? Analog?
Yeah.
As opposed to digital?
No, it's analogous, right? It's an analog.
I get you.
Right. So I'm gonna go with the Beyond Burger because I was gonna say just grill me up some vegetables, right? Or like a black bean burger, which I love, right? But Beyond Burger doesn't have quite the chemicals that some people think it does, right? And so even for the quote unquote processed whatever that we're doing with the analogs, it's not even all that bad. So give me a juicy, filling Beyond Burger. If you're gonna grill, just let's not pretend. Let's just grill some burgers and
Right on. Well, I'm gonna meet you head on, okay, with your with a vegan option.
Cool.
All right, and then I'm gonna go with the winner. But first, the vegan option. I feel like I have to go head to head with you. I can't because most judges are gonna go, well, the vegan just can't win this, right? You know, if the judge is not a vegan, they're just like, all right, well, he's trying his best anyway, right? So I'm going to go head to head with you. And this is something I learned from a restaurant I worked at years ago in the 90s. It was called Tulipano Nero, the black tulip. And the chef owner was probably 5 to 10 years in America from Naples, sorry. Americano. Gabagool.
Back in old Napoli, that's amore.
But he was from Naples. Like I felt like he was fresh off the boat because he had such a thick accent. He's like, what a frigo you want? Right? But man, that guy, he was a hell of a chef. And one of the things that he did, we had an oak grill in the dining room, right? And the guy that ran the grill, Mimo, did not speak English. He used to ask me all the time, hey, you have it hungry? Hey, yes, you have it hungry? Oh, yeah, Mimo, I have hungry very much. I have it hungry. Always. And Mimo would make me the most delicious food. But they would use it for steaks, and they would grill whole fish, which we would fillet table side. It was really nice presentation. But the vegan thing that he would do is he would marinate portobello mushrooms in balsamic and olive oil, oregano, salt, pepper. Very simple marinade. He would marinate them for 3 days and then slice them. Like, you know, he would get the giant portobellos, you know, marinate them for 3 days, slice them grill them and then slice them. And it was by the time it was done marinating and grilling, it was the consistency of a steak almost, right? Like for the closest thing you could get a vegetable to a steak. And just the flavor was just explode. One of the most delicious things that I've ever eaten that was not meat.
It's really good. Yeah, I've had similar style, like portobello as the analog for, well, not even really an analog, as the replacement for the beef with a similar flavoring. It's so fucking good.
So if I'm not going vegan, I'm going gator bites. Right. And this is just, it's not alligator bites.
Oh.
Okay. It's just a euphemism. It's just a name that we came up with these things that we used to make in South Carolina when we had barbecues. It is a half of a jalapeno pepper. And I know you're not going to eat this, but half of a jalapeno pepper stuffed with cream cheese, wrapped in 3/4 of the way cooked bacon, toothpick through it, throw it on the grill. Holy shit, is that thing delicious. And if you want, you can make a little sweet spicy sauce, maple syrup. You could use any hot sauce and red pepper flakes. Dip it in that.
Well, I think you would win that just on the sort of.
I am a grill master.
The variety and the different flavors and the non-chalky kind of food. Yeah, you win.
I mean, you were in kind of a rough position because I'm in the like this is what I do for a living. You know, so.
By the way,
yeah, I do think you won round one though.
Which one?
The spicy peanut sauce.
Oh yeah.
Over Chow Chow. I mean, Chow Chow's different, but I like spicy peanut sauce more, and it's more useful on a deserted island for the protein.
So, for those of you who are driving and can't Google it, water, pea protein, canola oil, coconut oil, rice protein. This is where they get you, quote unquote, natural flavors. That covers a lot, right? Yeah. But then it's just dried yeast, cocoa butter, methylcellulose, which is like plant fiber and stuff. And
methylcellulose.
Yeah. It's basically it's like cellulose. Like I think that means it's like plant material. I have to look that up.
It sounds like what's in this.
Methylcellulose. I don't know.
I believe it. There's some kind of plant cellulose in the vape fluid that I use.
Then we've got potato starch, salt, potassium chloride. It's minerals that you usually get from meat anyway. Beet juice color to make it red, apple extract, pomegranate concentrate, sunflower lecithin, vinegar, lemon juice, vitamins and minerals, including B3, B6, B12, and calcium. So, I mean,
this is what, a Beyond Burger?
Yeah, I mean, it's not like 3 ingredients like black beans, quinoa, and whatever. Yeah. But like, it's not like, I mean, you could do a lot worse.
Yeah, there are veggie burgers and black bean burgers out there that I don't hate. That I actually enjoy if I'm not in the mood for a burger.
Mm-hmm.
Right on, man. We covered a lot of shit.
Almost. We didn't start right at 10, but like it's almost 1. Yeah.
Well, we're 2.5 hours.
Okay. Yeah.
Holy shit. But I mean, a lot of Dynasty talk in here. Mm-hmm. A lot of good actionable advice. Yeah. Brian and I are going to go make a trade, by the way.
Oh, are we? Oh, yeah. So,
well, if you need to go to bed, it's fine.
No, that's okay. Just real quick, I was uploading the audio to post, to edit and post Fever today, and it was like 40 minutes short of what the recording was. It's like, what the fuck? Like, thankfully, for whatever reason, I've never seen this before, it cut off our first 40 minutes when we were just bullshitting. and the whole, good stuff was there.
No, yeah. No, you didn't hit record for the first 40 minutes.
No, because remember we said we've been talking for an hour before.
Yeah, and when you said that, I was like, oh, that sounds a little weird.
It was on the timer.
Because you hadn't hit record. I remember hitting got it. And it was probably, it was a good 40 minutes in.
No, what I'm saying is like we recorded a certain amount that I know for sure because of the ticker up in the top right of the Zoom.
And some of it's just
and
not
the
there.
file I got was 40 minutes short of that. And I was like, oh shit. But it was the beginning 40 minutes when we were.
But you have to hit record once the Zoom starts.
Okay. When I hit record on the Zoom, it tells me how long it's been recording.
Okay.
So I knew how long it was recording
I see what you're saying.
and got 40 minutes less back. Yeah. Have fun editing this, Memphis.
He won't. He doesn't even listen to us. Trust me. He stole my Rager take. By the way, it's going to happen. The last report that I saw was that there's an NFC and an AFC team inquiring about Rager.
I grabbed him in a couple like mid 20th rounds, just like
for what? Oh yeah. What do you think you could trade for him for?
I don't know. See, people.
I want to make this a true 2.5 hours, by the way, so we gotta get 2 more minutes.
I think the general community, like, okay, what percentage of Dynasty people are, real? I mean, Dynasty people tend to be a little obsessive, right? But like, what percentage of them are in, following the Twitter and this and that they know enough that there's been a little bit of buzz about Rieger and they're starting to be trade rumors, right? Because I think that's what you have to ask yourself, right?
10, 20.
That's a little lower than I thought, but yeah, but I would say probably less than half, right? So my guess is this person has Rieger sitting on their roster and they're like, oh, fuck, I got Rieger, right?
Yeah. So, spent a first on him.
I don't know, throw a third and a fourth,
I wouldn't do it, but a lot of people would. I'm so heavily invested in goddamn Jalen Rager. I'm not trading him unless you got it, like you're gonna shove a gold horseshoe up my ass,
which could be fun.
Depending on the context, absolutely.
I have a somewhat related to Rager story to tell you off air.
All right, cool. Let's end this bitch. It is a behemoth. 2:29 and 30 seconds. I still don't know how to end a podcast. Brian, any ideas?
Yeah, so you can follow me on Twitter at @FFJunkie_. You can follow me and Jesse's podcast on Twitter at Dynasty Fever Pod. You can look for me on my new podcast, the Dynasty Saturday Night 5, debuting, we think, on August 27th at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, going for 2 live channel on YouTube. You can catch the audio version of this Dynasty War Games podcast early next week, probably around, we're still doing Tuesday-ish, I think. You can follow the show at DWZ_War Games, a Twitter account controlled by Jesse, who refuses to have a personal Twitter, although a locked private personal Twitter for DWZ Mike and DWZ_Chad has a Twitter that you can interact with, although I'm not sure how much they tweet. Please subscribe, rate, and review, and we'll see you next week.
All right, a mixed review from Brian. Nice. I think you said it all. Yeah, please. I mean, if you guys like what you're hearing, we love those 5 stars, and we love reviews. Really what I want in a review, if you're going to write me a review, just be honest and tell me what you want to hear. I mean, we're here for you. So if you want to send me a DM on Sleeper, MFL, Group Me, I'm pretty much herbalist on all of those. So look me up. Just send me a DM. If there's something that we've touched on and you like and you want to hear more of it, let us know. If there's something we do that you hate, let me know. I'll just pound it into your brain. No, I'm kidding. No, seriously, I want feedback. Give it to me. And that's what she said.